Welcome to the show, it's Dolphins Diaries, where we talk the game, no need for mysteries. Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat, so sweet. Sports talk every day keeps you on your feet.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dolls Diaries. It wouldn't be Dolls Diaries without FinStanza.
Happy to be here. I love it.
It's
been a while.
It's been a long time.
Been a very long time.
I don't know if you heard, my show last week almost went to 2 hours.
Oh, that's not our record. I think we pushed 3.
Well, and there was 3 of us. There was like more of a panel thing, but for those who don't know, me and FinStanza love to yap.
Oh, yes, we do.
We're big yappers.
Yes, we are.
And shockingly, I didn't plan this. There is a lot to yap about today. So I think what we're going to do is dive into last night's game. We'll get our thoughts, kind of where we see the Dolphins headed. We'll talk about our upcoming game on Sunday, and kind of our thoughts there. But I guess the biggest news we'll start with is Tyreek Hill done for the season. Surprisingly, a large amount of people cheering it from our own fan base. And my personal opinion is that you saw how our offense was performing in the first half with Tyreek. Then you saw what happened in the second half, end of the third quarter, without Tyreek. And I think that's all you need to know about where I'm going to stand here. But what about you? Where are you on the now we don't have Tyreek? What's happened to the season?
So during the offseason, when I think it was even during the draft period, people were talking about, trade Tyreek. And I was never for that, only because of how the offense looked, even when he was injured or he was much maligned last year. Because there's a lot of beat reporters who say the offense is surrounded by or based on the concept of Tyreek Hill or the threat of Tyreek Hill. He allows other players to get in space, other players to be open. So even if you look at all the personal drama, all the stuff last year against the Jets, last game of the season, saying, I'm out. If I was him, I'd be out too the way he was being used. Like, this is a guy who had almost under 1,000 yards. The previous year, he almost had 2,000. Like, previous year, hit over 1,500. So, what's really for me that what I've seen so far this season is Tyreek Hill has been a leader since the captaincy has been taken off of him. The fact that he's going through a nasty divorce, he's going through court cases, he's going through all of this, down to earth. If you look what happened last night with his family and the ambulance with him and how he reaches out to the fan base and all that, as much as people give him like crap because of his personal life, on the football field, he's a dog. But I think what's showing now is our fan base is it's like a wounded dog. Or if you ever hear, I don't know if you've ever seen like a bird that bashes into your window and it can't get up. That's how our fan base is right now. Like last night we saw help wanted, fire Greer, fire McDaniel, and fire and get a new QB, new coach, now Tyreek Hill. Like we are so wounded as fans that everyone is so bipolar. It's like the separation has become very political almost, where people are standing on one side and they can't just be there to cheer for their team. And for me, losing Tyreek Hill is, I believe now, is the excuse. People are thinking now it makes more apparent that Greer and McDaniel could be fired. Me who has been on the train of getting rid of both of them for a long time, especially McDaniel, this is going to be their excuse, but it's also McDaniel's greatest opportunity to show what kind of coach he is. So for me, losing Tyreek Hill is a massive blow, but it will actually show, and it will show the fan base, and it will show what Mike McDaniel, Chris Greer can do for this team. Like, what is the plan here? Because I don't think they're going to mail it in. I don't think they're the type of team that no matter what we think, they're not mailing it in. Even if they lose next week, they'll think they still have a chance. Like that's just the mindset of the Miami Dolphins, right? 1-7. Brian Flores. We finished 9-8. We're 8-3. Go from 8-3 to 8-8. Like that's just how Miami Dolphin football is. So that's what we're used to.
honestly ending up, hey, I call him Pika in my head, but Devani, Chandlover, Chris.
We'll talk about him plenty.
I agree, it can't be an excuse, but opportunity. Listen, I'm still on the fire, everybody blow it all up train. But here's my thing. I get it. Like, we'll see what they can do without him. I don't think we can do much without him. They went out and they just got Cedric Wilson Jr. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
That's not. We don't have anybody other than like Jalen Waddle who's going to fill in the Malik. Maybe Malik is probably going to get some more reps without.
Waller will get them. Waller will get them. Nick Westbrook might get them. But
my thing, though, is it wasn't so much scheming with Tyreek and the plays between Tua and Tyreek. It was the defenses having to plan and being watchful of Tyreek that he opened up our other guys. He opened up Waddle. You always had to have an eye on him. Now, without that, my man Achane is going to get a lot more attention, I think. I think that's where defensives are going to go because look what happened last year. And even now, he is our main workhorse. But
which
now
is a problem, which we'll talk about. It is a problem.
It is a problem because I'm afraid he's going to get hurt.
Yeah, I think he's going to get killed.
But now the problem is that everybody's going to know it. And no longer do we have to plan for, okay, but we got to keep that eye on Tyreek. We got to keep that deep ball on Tyreek. Now it's, well, here's our new focus. And I think defenses are going to come at us differently. I think our deep ball might be taken away. Not that we've really had one this year.
Not really.
Let's be honest.
Not really.
But, it sickened me, though, the amount of people cheering on his injury. And, I mean, I saw a lot of opposing fan bases. I get it. But there's just a lot of classless people out there. And I just want to put it out there. He really seemed like he was a main leader on our team.
Oh, he was the leader.
And with a team that has no identity and has already had a players meeting, what's that going to do internally? Like, who now is going to step up and maybe hold people accountable?
Well, now it's Tua's team. Tua has zero excuses anymore.
Nobody has excuses anymore.
No, but now it's really on him because as much as we say that Jalen Waddle is a good receiver, except when Jalen Waddle's a great receiver when the pressure's not on. What I mean by that is if you go back to Alabama, he was great in the regular season, but then he came back from a bad injury, but Devontae Smith was leading it back then. Then then the first year when he caught 100 passes, he was going in the slot. It was a rebuild. There was no pressure to win. So now, and then next thing you know, Tyreek's here. So there hasn't been that pressure. So for me, if we look at the overall concept of what we need to do, Tua now needs to. What I liked about last night, just let's talk about last night's game a little bit, which I didn't mention on the show before, but I should have noticed it a little bit more because I didn't watch the full game because I had a game and then I was watching it throughout, and then I watched it again after. One thing you notice is Tua was behind center a lot more. And McDaniel finally admitted, we can't do it in shotgun because what was happening, what Steve was saying a lot, and I was talking with Bobby about it on Let's Talk Today and with Greg, and is when people stand in the shotgun, when Tua's in the shotgun, they're doing that to protect Tua because Tua then could see what's going on a little bit more. But the problem was, you knew if Achane was on the left to get momentum, he was going to the right. The defenses could know what was going on. Yesterday, you saw him going behind center, which was, I think, a nice idea. And the key thing is that to have the balanced attack where there was more runs and passing, that's what's going to need to happen. But no, Tua has to lead the offense. There's no one else who can do it. It's not Waddle. He's not there anymore. He doesn't have that ability. Yeah. Darren Waller could, because Darren Waller is basically has a because of his gargantuan frame. On the defensive side of the ball, it seems to be Jordan Brooks. The problem is that who they expected to be the leaders of this team are people who are not capable of being leaders, which is Steeler and Tua. They're not leaders. I'm sorry, they're not leaders. But Tua now has no choice. And I think Tua realizes now, in order for them to have any chance this season, he has to really lead this team. And it doesn't have to be through necessarily his own play, but it has to be. But where he needs to be a guy in the huddle, he has to be the guy driving them up, dapping them up. If a guy makes a bad play, he has to be calling them out on the bench. He can't be just at the podium. Like he can't just do it with the media and with the fans. Like what he did last week can never happen again. Like what he's done the last couple of weeks. Oh, you guys with clickers. You guys, it's unacceptable. His behavior there. He's just being a child. He's being immature,
arrogant,
and very arrogant.
This is off topic.
Yeah,
but it's kind of on topic.
Yeah.
Did you see Cam Ward's most recent press conference?
No, I haven't had a chance yet.
You have to watch and give me your thoughts because he basically says this team is ass. Like he said, like verbatim. Like,
oh yeah, his team is ass.
And people are coming after him, and they're like, no, like he. I actually like the refreshing, not media trained Cam Ward over the cocky Tua that we've been seeing and the media trained McDaniel who just like stutters and we got to be better to be better. So I have to, you have to watch it and tell me anything because he just goes on TV and he's like,
my son had that hair too. He had his hair red.
Oh yeah, we just got our hair. He just got his hair dyed.
My son did. My kids did the exact same color because
Did he really? I think it's in.
No, because what it is that for them, that's the one color that we were able to do that you don't have to dye it. You just color it and it just grows out. So which is
no,
really
he went to my hairdresser and we bleached it and then we put red over it because his hair is so dark.
Very cool.
Go get ready.
So yeah. So I don't know if you don't think you didn't have a chance to see the show last night, but the way to make it work for this offense, really, and how Tua can be really successful, is they have to do sort of the money ball concept. So unlike where you're trying to go get to Tyreek Hill, get to Waddle, get to individuals like Achane, they need to do everything in the aggregate. So basically, you need every player to contribute in a game. You need Achane, you need Ollie Gordon, you need Jalen Wright, you need Nick Westbrook, you need Taj Washington to come in now because I don't think it should be Cedric Wilson. You need Malik, you need Waddle, you need Westbrook, you need Waller, you need everybody. And like I would like to see one play. I'd love to see this setup where Gordon's in the backfield and you have Waller, Washington, Achane, and Waddle all spread. Like confuse the people. Like that's what I want. And by the way, the best receiver outside the second best receiver on this team has to be Achane. And what you mentioned talking about Achane, and I know I troll Achane. A couple years ago, it was Sanders. Now it's Achane. And the reason why I say about Achane being a mid running back, and I want to clarify on the show with you, person, is because he's not just a running back. He's Saquon Barkley like being where you live. I've never seen a player since who has Saquon Barkley ability to get the ball in space like he does, like he did for the third time in 4 games, break a tackle and go 20, 30 yards on his own. And the guy is a little guy. At the end of last night's game when they were killing the clock, that should have been Ollie Gordon 3 plays in. Why are you sending Devon Achane up the middle? Last night there were 30 rushes, 20 of them, or 29 rushes. You gave Ollie Gordon 6. The receptions, when Tyreek went out, most of the receptions should have gone to Waddle and to Achane. Achane kept getting rushes. Right now, the success Achane's had most of his career has been getting the ball in space. If you don't, that's where he's going to be successful. That's where you're going to keep him clean. That's where you're going to get the best chunk yards. That's where you're going to get your yak because of his speed. If you keep on putting him up the middle, he's going to. And what do you know? He's going to get stomped on, and I bet you he will not get stomped on by the defensive player. He'll get stomped on by one of our offensive players inadvertently tripping. Because I can just picture this. Cole Strange played last night, and Larry Borum is there. But Liam Eichenberg's going to come back at some point, and he's going to go there. And one day, Devon Achane is going to be going up the middle, and then Liam Eichenberg's going to trip on his own 2 feet and fall on Devon Achane and squish him.
It's always Liam Eichenberg.
Yeah, I could just picture that, right? So for me, Devon Achane is a superstar player. He's going to get paid like crazy at the end of this year. He needs to be one of the focal points of your offense, but you'd have to put him in a position the same way you putting your 2 in a position to stay clean and stay healthy. You have to do that for Achane. If you overuse him in a very bell cow way, you're going to get him hurt, and then it's because I personally believe, and I'll say this on this network, you on this team needs Devon Achane right now, before last night's game, if you told me remove one player from the offense, Tyreek Hill or Devon Achane, get rid of Tyreek Hill. Because Devon Achane gives you a dual threat, and he's younger, and he's more, and he has less drama, and he's just a guy there going to play football. There's less of and people love him.
Yeah.
He's a fan favorite. So for me, he's so key. The thing is, you have to protect him. If you don't protect him and just overutilize him, you're in deep, deep trouble. He's a safety net for Tua. But I was surprised last night that even though they were behind center a lot, they overused Achane. The moment Tyreek Hill went out, they overused him, but they overused him in the incorrect way, and that's why the points slowed down. That's why it became a 6-point game, because they didn't use Achane appropriately for the rest of the game.
Well, it became a 6-point game because our defense is dog shit, but we'll get to that after this.
Phil Douglas, though, did it on that Garrett Wilson catch.
Listen, we'll get to the defense in a minute, and our secondary actually is not going to feel as much of my wrath.
They're not the problem.
They're a problem, but they're not the problem.
No, they're not.
But I have been calling. I mean, what are we on year 2 of me saying I wanted a bully back? I mean, I should get this tattooed on my forehead.
Yeah.
Like, run the damn ball and bully back, because I've been asking for, I mean, like a Derrick Henry type monster, just run you over up the middle. We get Ollie, who very much has that potential.
What a guy. He's such a happy guy. He's like a happy guy. Like, he's such a pleasure to watch.
And we're still using Achane, and I see it, and I love me Devon, but I'm just sitting there like, you're gonna get my man hurt.
Yeah.
And this offense think about it. This offense has seen Tua go down. They've seen Tyreek check out. They have
Waddle run down.
They have not seen a Devon Achane-less roster. And when they did, we had Mozart, who was killing it that year.
Yeah.
So you really haven't seen, and I think that would be, I think you can lose Tua, you can lose everybody, but if you lose Devon Achane, I think the offense revolves around him mostly. And Tyler's back. No, kidding. You got to give Ollie time.
No,
but it's not a 1-2 punch. It's like a 1 and like 0.2 punch. Like, he's not
Jalen
getting...
Wright. Jalen Wright is there. They're not using him.
Yeah.
Jeff Wilson's there. They're not using him. They're both there sitting on the bench. They're overusing him.
That's why, for all that everybody says how great McDaniel is and how great of a play designer he is, it shocks me that he's not using his main weapons in the correct way.
Yeah.
For multiple, like, that's what shocks me, is that not only the play calling, but just the personnel of the play.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how many more players do you need to get hurt? We already have Tua, who I hold my breath every time that he starts to get pressure around him. You don't have Tyreek. You know, Waddle's one more tackle away from probably maybe getting hurt with the legs now are going to terrify me for the rest of the season. And, you know, Achane is tough and he's fast, but you got to use him on the outside. You got to use him, you know, in space. I'm not taking Wright over Ollie. I'm definitely taking Ollie over Wright, but I still
100%. I just be using.
I still think that you have him, so use him even as a decoy.
If you remember the Dallas game a couple of years ago, when they needed the chunk yards to kill the clock against Dallas, it wasn't Raheem Mostert. It wasn't was Jalen Wright still available? I think Jalen Wright it wasn't his first year. I think Devon Achane, wasn't back yet. It was Jeff Wilson. So the reason why, and that was your best power back at the time. So, or the guy who could go up the middle. So the point is that when you need to kill a clock, so I will tell you, Mike McDaniel, that was a well-called game, because I saw that he put Tua under center 17 times, and you didn't know what was coming. They were generating the play action. But right now, even more than Waddle, who has to step up, my concern is going to be that they're going to go to Waller a little too much than they have to, because he had a great game, but he's not going to get 2 touchdowns a game. No. But they need Nick Westbrook. I like the moves with Malik. We'll see how they can build in Taj if they let him play.
Yeah.
But they have to balance it. Like, Alec Gold is we don't know what he does. The problem is that, like I said, right now, if you're David Canales and the Carolina Panthers and you're watching tape, the tape is Devon Achane.
Yeah.
Everything you can, Devon
what I'm
Achane.
saying.
And by the way, what was the solution? People always wonder, what's the solution to getting rid of the two safety deep and that shell of a defense?
It's running the ball.
Go behind center. So if
running
you
the
go
ball.
behind center, so Tua now has to become a behind center quarterback. And people get concerned about, oh, the offensive line, the offensive line. We've all been so hard on the offensive line. Do you know Tua has been hit a total of 3 times in the last 2 games? The pass protection is awful, but the run defense is really good. They give space. So in the end, Justin Herbert, in the last 2 games, has been hit close to 30 times. Tua's been hit. Tua, the way he looks behind center when he backs up and he gets a little nervous and goes out, that's him with the jitters, because they're telling him in his head, don't get hurt, don't get hurt. Like last night when he almost got hurt by his Polynesian tribesmen, who I can't believe. Tua did the right thing. He slid. The problem was but you're fearful no matter what. He got up and laughed. But at the same time, Tua's also playing fearful because people have put him in his head. He knows he's one hit away. He's worried that if he gets hit, his team season's over. He's watched it. So he's getting a little jittery because I think also the perception is his offensive line is crap. The difference is Patrick Paul's been fine. Jonas Savianaya is getting a little bit better. Brewers just makes some stupid penalties, but he's a good, decent center. Cole Strange was fine last night. Borum is a problem, but you want to know what? Maybe they'll pick someone up soon. Who knows? But the offensive line is certainly not a problem. The way they're going to win these football games right now is to really spread out the offense. The more wide receivers you have, the more you can use to treat Darren Waller like a slot guy, and put Waddle back. I don't care. Try different things, but this is his opportunity. He says he's everyone thinks he's a great play designer. But you cannot now go from Tyreek Hill to Devon Achane. If you're now going to do the concept of, I have 45 touches a game against Carolina, and 25 of them are going to go to Devon Achane, you're going to lose. Yeah. Because they're going to the defense of Carolina is good, and you're not just going to be able to mask that. Devon Achane will get you something. Like, he will mask something, but he's also, you don't want to gas the guy, right? Like, you can't burn him out. Like, as you could probably tell now, like, you wanted a bell cow. I guarantee you, Derrick Henry is not getting a lot of fan mail in Baltimore with the 2 fumbles right now, right? And if you look at the AFC right now, as much as we think this team is hot garbage, even though they won last night, there's a lot of teams that are 2-2. There's a lot of teams that are 1-3. And there's only one team that's 4-0. And look at trust me, you don't want to be Cincinnati right now. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase sitting on the bench last night in that Denver game, looking the way they were, not getting the ball, yelling at Zach Taylor, Brian Callahan with his quarterback Cam Ward ripping him to shreds. There's a lot more people more on the hot seat than Mike McDaniel right now, ironically. Like, there's a lot of teams that are pissed. Look at Jim Harbaugh right now. I'm sure for you guys right now, your family, if they didn't see a better opportunity to win the AFC North, there's no better chance. Like, if they blow this, like, it's hilarious, because I don't think Baltimore is going to come back much. Cleveland is nothing, and Cincinnati is nothing. Like, this is their opportunity.
They'll win the division, they believe, but they don't believe that they're going to be winning multiple playoff games with Aaron Rodgers. But we'll see. My fear, and I've gone on record saying this, I'm like, if we're going to fire everybody, if we're having a blown up season, the worst thing we can do is go like 9-8 or 8. And I feel like we're trending that way. We are trending to win 5 to 7 games.
Yeah.
And with how bad some of the bad teams are, we're going to mid ourselves to
that's Dolphin like, right?
Like 11th. And that's why I was like, you know what? If we continued to lose, I wouldn't be mad, because at least I know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel of dangling a top 5 draft pick with a whole new coaching staff. Now you're going to potentially fire everybody and then give them like the 11th, the 12th round pick.
And look what we do with our draft picks. I'm sure you saw the breaking news today.
Or you're going to be even stupider, Ross, I'm talking to you. and not fire anybody or do some. I could see Ross doing something stupid like that.
I don't, unless if they don't make the playoffs,
They're not named.
he has no choice because the fan base is literally going to go sports. That's what my fear is. This is my fear right now after last night. If they're going to use the Tyreek Hill idea as fuel, and they're going to start winning games to the point where people are going to start believing again, right? And just imagine this. Okay, just picture this. They beat Carolina. Justin Herbert now is missing 2 of his linemen. Tua overcomes Justin Herbert, and they're 3-3, and they start going on that trend. People are going to start feeling again, and then all of a sudden, when they lose a bad game, they're going to fall back down to earth, and then people are going to be mad again. Like the fact that people are, there is a sign they can't keep doing this. Like, at what point do you do the same thing over and over again? Like the definition of insanity. So Ross at one point has to come to the realization that unless they turn this around in a really great way and get to 10 wins and make the playoffs, he can't justify, because in the end, whatever, then he's a definitive liar, because he says status quo is not going to be accepted, and you can't use injuries as an excuse, because every year, every team, McDaniel even said it, and it's probably the smartest comment he's made since he became a Dolphins coach. Injuries in football are 100%. Every team has injuries. Every team has injuries. Like, for example, they lost in Dallas. They lost CD Lamb. They still put up 40 against Green Bay. They were able to do it, right? So, like, teams are still capable of performing at a very high level if you build the right idea. So this needs to be a run-first team that creates the RPO, utilize your tight end who's 6'6", who looks refreshed. And by the way, he announced today the reason why he was gone is actually he tore his quad. So that's why he was actually not available to play. But the way he played yesterday, like that throw, that was a beautiful throw by Tua, but no one else is catching that. If you're 6'5", the presence of mind to catch that football and to land feet first in the end zone, that is pure athleticism. That is skill beyond comprehension there. So it's a matter of how this needs to be Mike McDaniel's greatest performance, and now he doesn't have the excuse because he has Tua, he has Devon Achane, he has Waddle, he has Darren Waller, and he has speed. He still has players, and people can rip on the offensive line as much as you want. Tua's not getting hit right now. So Tua, and it's not because he's getting the ball out quick. That's not the way it was. It's more about the fact that you have a balanced attack. That worked last night. The problem is it's not a winning formula to win football games all season. Because if you think you're going to score, if you only score 27 against the Jets and Tyreek Hill was there for half the game and you only scored after that about 13 points, you're not, or 10 points, you're not going to be able to do that throughout the entire season against other teams. So in the end, scoring under 30 points a game on average, you're not going to win a lot of football games in the NFL. Because the problem is, and we'll talk about it later, is your defense can't sustain that. Like your defense can't sustain that. So,
Bobby, I'm safe.
Wow.
He's always on his best behavior for me. It's you he misbehaves for.
You know what's so funny? Because tomorrow night I'm going to be doing. You're lucky. So Russ Morgan, who does On Deck, has been begging me to do the baseball show with him, and now because the baseball playoffs will start, and I'm really into the baseball playoffs, and I do know a lot about baseball. I can't do 15 shows a week because people always wonder, like, why don't you do shows in the summer? Because I do I go crazy in the in the fall when it's cold out. When it's nice out, I don't want to be on podcasts. I want to be having fun in the summer with my family. So for me, tomorrow I'm doing that show, and Russ and Bobby always go at it, and Russ really nice to me. So it's really funny that the people
opposite,
who pick on each other. Yeah. So.
Well, I am going to segue into our defense can't sustain a 27-point scoring because they can't stop an offense.
They can't stop the run.
They can't stop an offense, period. I think they had, and I have the stats up here because I was shocked. They let the Jets get 23 first downs.
Yeah.
That is more than the Dolphins had. Dolphins only had 19.
Oh, they had more yards. They had more every stat line.
They let Justin Fields get, I think it was like 88 yards, something crazy like that. Now I will say, and I'm gonna give my no-name defense. I call the secondary the no-name secondary because let's be honest, outside of Minkah Fitzpatrick, I'm still learning the names.
By the way, just FYI, so you're aware, so you can use it as a stat line. The 6th rated quarterback right now, currently, the 6th rated cornerback in the NFL, his name is Rasul Douglas.
No, listen.
He's doing a good job.
Sometimes when a play happens right now in our secondary, I have to be like, wait, let me see who did that.
Who was that?
Who? Jones. Oh, that's Jack. That's Jack Jones. We've had a lot of Joneses in our secondary over the years too. But I mean, Jack Jones had that great play punching out the ball at the end zone. Rasul Douglas has been playing great. I mean, I think it was Rasul Douglas and Wilson were that contested ball in the end zone where Wilson got the touchdown. I even said that was perfect coverage.
So there's one mistake. He made one mistake.
He tried to punch the ball but compared to our secondary of prior to where they'd be 5 yards off and they'd be running to catch up, he was all over him. So I'm not going to give our secondary.
And I'm thinking you do this because your son plays football. The one thing he didn't do, which was the problem, and this is what happens with most corners because they're trying to get to the ball, is if he would have turned around, he would have had a better shot. The problem, he was on him and didn't get cause pass interference, which would have been the same thing as the touchdown because they would score on the next play. But at the same time, you need to turn around. Like that was the concern. Is he literally went with him, but forgot to turn his head. If he would have turned his head, he would have saw the ball earlier. He did perfect coverage. That's our problem with our defense, our secondary, is they don't turn. They're not playing with the guy.
Not just they don't turn, but first of all, we're playing too much zone, and we all know how I feel about zone. Here we go with Tyler. It's not a fantastic catch by Wilson. You know that I don't give compliments to our opponents. I will always. He caught a ball. Congratulations that you're getting paid millions to do. Congratulations, he did his job.
I thought your first comment was going to be how the heck did our defense give up on a 4th and 1, a 50-yard run from a corner from a quarterback?
No. I was saying to start our secondary. I was trying to butter everybody up like with a compliment before I absolutely nuked the defensive line.
Oh my God. I nuked them last night. Oh, I went scorched.
So the secondary didn't piss me off. I had low expectations anyway. So anytime they make a play, I'm shocked. But they really weren't tested a bunch. I mean, I don't really think that Fields was throwing the ball. What he was doing was just ragdolling our defensive line. Yeah. I have said this since day one, they should be embarrassed to see the film, to see themselves getting tossed around as grown-ass men and get pancaked, laid on their ass. Just absolutely, they should be embarrassed. And coming into the season, this was supposed to be our biggest unit, our strongest unit. We have Chubb back. We have Phillips back. We have Sack Sealer. We have, Chop Robinson, who we all know is controversial. I didn't want him to go in the first. Like that was a whole draft day meltdown, if you all recall. And everybody was like, our defensive line. It doesn't matter that our secondary has nobody in it. Like we're going to be sacking quarterbacks left and right. We're going to be pressuring them. Like plays aren't going to get off. And every quarterback has just running back. At this point, the water boy probably could get a first down. Yeah. I mean, they can't tackle. They're getting no pressure. And then when they're getting blocked, they're just creating large gaps. And then you see them try to put their pinky out to stop, Fields. And they're just getting run all over. And it might be fine in practice with Tua because Tua's a pocket quarterback. He's not mobile. Nobody's threatened. No one's worried Tua's going to go off and run.
He could run. The problem is they don't want him to run. He can move. The problem is that they don't want him to.
The chances that Tua's actually going to tuck that ball under his arm and run I meteor.
But he
I
could.
mean,
But if it's space is open, he could
yeah,
run.
but defenses know he's not.
He's not Aaron Rodgers, and he's not Tom Brady. He's not Joe Burrow. He can actually move. He actually has the ability to move. Problem is, they're telling him not to move.
Yeah, but that's my point though, is whether the fact that he thinks he can do it or not, he's not going to. It's going to be a rare occasion that he is running. Instead, I mean, Justin Fields is a threat on his feet in his own. We all know that. He is a mobile quarterback. He's up there with the Lamar type play. But they also do it. I mean, we've watched Josh Allen do it on them too. I mean, at this point, this defensive line can't stop a Girl Scout.
And you want to know why?
Why?
I'll tell you why.
Go ahead.
They don't have a leader. So look at it from the defensive line perspective. Kenneth Grant was not the pick. We all said it. Tyler Warren sitting there was the pick all along, whether you had Jonnu Smith or not. Because I'm trying to break it to you. Jonnu Smith, go look at his stats. Aaron Rodgers isn't using him all that much. He was way ahead. He has I think he has a third of the yards he has when he was at the Dolphins.
Yeah, well, that's when they became Metcalf. So.
I know. But still, we have Jalen Waddle. So we have Tyreek Hill. The point is that Aaron Rodgers is utilizing him where we're going to use Darren Waller, but he's not for $11 million to be paid what he's doing what he's doing so far in Pittsburgh. He's not the focal point of any offense. But no. So the problem is that Chop Robinson is a sophomore and he's not getting as much playing time. There's less pressure. There's still pressure on him to improve. But Kenneth Grant is not there yet. Jordan Phillips is a late round pick. The defense, that's tough. Bradley Chubb took a demotion. He's getting over his injury. The two biggest problems, Julio Jones is useless, is Zach Sealer and Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips 2 weeks ago got ragdolled by James Cook. Like, get out of my way. Okay, this is on the fifth-year option. See, that's the one thing Chris Greer actually did right. He signed a player who's injury-prone to his fifth-year option. Maybe he should have done that with Tua. But Jalen Phillips is not the same player. He will not be a Miami Dolphin next year unless he's willing to be and if they franchise him, that's a boneheaded move.
No.
He's done as a Dolphin, unless he completely turns it around the rest of the season. The biggest problem on your defense right now is Zach Sealer. And the reason why Zach Sealer is your biggest problem is Zach Sealer was thought to be this superstar defensive player, seventh-round pick, or undrafted seventh-round pick, who went to Ferris State, who lived in an RV. He's one of my favorite players. The problem is that you've never seen him without Christian Wilkins or Calais Campbell, ever. He's only had those two guys. And what was the difference between when Christian Wilkins first came out, people thought he was a bust for a year or two. But then he became a leader. And then he became a pain in your ass. Calais Campbell, man of the year, star player. Look at the way he's playing in Arizona already. He's leading that defense at 39 years old. There's no compliment to Zach Sealer. And until you get a veteran, the problem is, unless they go trade for one, I go look. The number one available defensive lineman right now is Christian Wilkins, and he's not ready. If it's November, maybe he will be. And I guarantee you, when Christian Wilkins does become available and he's healthy, the Dolphins will sign him this season if they are at a point where they can utilize him. The problem is that Zach Sealer is not the leader of the defense.
No.
And I'll tell you the biggest problem right now. The leaders of this defense are the linebackers. The problem is that no team in the history of football has won Super Bowls because of their middle linebackers. Jordan Brooks last night had 18 tackles, 15 solos. Terrell Dodson had 12 tackles. Rasul Douglas had tackles. Jack Jones, they had more tackles than the D-line. Our corners had more tackles than the D-line because they had to make up for it. The reason why they had so many tackles is because the D-line couldn't tackle a cold. So the problem is right now is that the players who are supposed to be your leaders are not capable of doing it. And I don't put that on Anthony Weaver. You're not talking about some Joe Bull players. You're talking about Zach Sealer, Bradley Chubb, and Jalen Phillips. And these are guys who are supposed to be great players. But the problem we're learning is that when you don't have a leader on the D-line, on a football team, the reason why Kansas City's defense wakes up is if they have a Chris Jones. Yeah. The reason why the Ravens were so great is because they had an Ed Reed and they had a Ray Lewis. The reason why the Rams are so good is because they have Jared Verse and they have Braden Fisk. Like if you have staunch people on your D-line, it's going to make the biggest difference in any football game. The problem is Zach Sealer's playing like a seventh-round Ferris State defensive lineman who's missing his salt and pepper. He's missing that guy next to him who gives him, like, it's the same way, take it from the offensive side. The way with Tyreek Hill, how he made plays for Waddle and made plays for Achane and you don't have that for the team right now. You don't have, Calais Campbell was feared, even at 38 years old.
Oh,
you're feared of him. You're fearful of him, right? So that's the problem right now on the defense. Is there's no one scares people on the defense, and the problem is that you're here's the thing. I talk about with Greg on overtime is the linebackers are there to complement them. Or there's a thumper like a Zach Thomas who is a special player, but typically it's your secondary and your D line that control the defense. And if you don't have that control on either side, you're in trouble. Linebackers are your secondary ability when the other players can't do their job, and they're able to. But the problem is that last year we were able to stop the run a little bit better. We had Jalen Ramsey. Right now we don't have dogs on the defense. The only dog we have is Jordan Brooks, and the problem is he can't do it by himself. And unfortunately, Zach Sealer right now is a severe disappointment. He got a contract, and he's not playing up to that contract. Jalen Phillips needs to get a contract. He's not playing for it. People are talking about Bradley Chubb. Oh, we're going to trade him at the deadline and get a high pick. They're not going to trade him. You'll be lucky if they trade him. They'll be lucky if they get a 5th-round pick for him, and you traded him for a first. So
yeah, his stock isn't high right now.
No, his stock is very. I don't care if he has 2-3 sacks. It's awful. Yes, I would bring Christian Wilkins back. I don't care what his issue was. I don't care what his issues were in Vegas. If Christian Wilkins was on this defense, it would be a different defense. It'd be a completely different defense. He would not stand for this nonsense that is happening on that deal. He'd make space for people. He would wreak havoc. And look at right now. I understand he's his moments, but there's a reason why he got that large contract. He had proven for a number of years, and then he got a bad Jones fracture. It is what it is. And yes, is he a little overzealous with his teammates? But he was like that in Miami too. The problem is you have to know how to handle it. And it is what it is. Yeah.
Listen, I never wanted to get rid of Richie Incognito. So I like having dogs on my team. I like having somewhat head cases. I mean, a little head casey, a little overzealous, but performs on the field. And I think fear garners respect, or respect garners fear, however you want to look at it. And especially when you're in a contact sport, you need to have offenses that are scared, offenses that are game planning to avoid. And right now, I don't think anybody is scared of Miami's defense. And Miami's defense is not, I thought for sure after that embarrassing Colts loss, they would look at that film. Because, I mean, Chop got literally pancaked.
Yeah.
And get angry and like fire them up. No, they just are. Remember what it was Jalen Phillips who came out in the press conference and was like, oh, we were just doing our own thing. Who's allowing that? Why was it allowed? And why has somebody needs to step up. I don't know who it's going to be, but somebody needs to step up.
I think Weaver the problem with Weaver right now is that he talks a good game. Like what he did on Friday was great. And I'm a big fan of Anthony Weaver. The problem is that he's once again left in a silo where he's never been a D coordinator before. And typically head coaches are there to support the overall structure of your coaching staff.
Yeah.
The problem is it's like sort of like you have a CEO of a company, and you have the CFO and you have the COO. As much as you are the COO and the CFO, the CEO is still your boss. The problem is that, and he should be overseeing certain things. Like, for example, if you're the CFO and you're preparing financials and you're overseeing it, the CEO wants to look at it. Mike McDaniel wants nothing to do with it. He doesn't care. He doesn't look. His head's in the play call sheet. Like after that, like when they blitzed on that play, yes, Garrett Wilson made a nice catch and Rasul did his job. That was on Anthony Weaver blitzing and doing one-on-one. Like the fact that Garrett Wilson was one-on-one on that play was on Anthony Weaver.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm Mike McDaniel, I'm throwing my headset. What the F are you doing? No, because Anthony Weaver is still learning. And unfortunately, he doesn't have the personnel to be able to perform at the level he wants to. So he's doing what he can. But right now, the problem also is that not only is Mike McDaniel hurting his ability so far this season to save his own job, the way it's going, Anthony Weaver lost his ability to become a head coach anywhere but Miami if he doesn't get the interim job here. He's not going to get it. He's not getting interviews next year the way he's coaching, unfortunately. Like, they put him in a position to fail with this D-line. Like, the idea of just because a team looks good on paper, because look at the Ravens. How many friends I have that are Raven fans? The way they play football, the way they've been playing, it's not something's changed there. The mentality is changed there, and people are because they have Kyle Hamilton. Something changed with their defense. They're not dogs anymore. They're getting beaten up. They're not like they went into Kansas City and got mauled by a team that almost lost to the Giants. Think about this. The Giants played better against the Chiefs than the Ravens. Like, whoever would have thought that? But that's the NFL to this day. Think about this. The Giants with Jackson Dart beat the Chargers. Like, this is the NFL. So that's the mindset that Mike McDaniel has to have. The problem is if the offense sort of starts to figure it out, the defense needs to figure it out too. The problem is they need to change the scheme up a little bit. They need to figure out going to man. And they have to figure something out, and they have to change the personnel a little bit.
Probably don't play.
Kenneth Grant's not. I don't care who it is, but even to go sign some people and work them out. But Kenneth Grant needs a break. You cannot have Kenneth Grant on a 3-down lineman anymore. You can't be there next to Zach Sealer. Zach Sealer needs a veteran. I don't care who it is. Go get any veteran that has played football before, that is a veteran. I don't care. The same way with head coaches. Like, you need experience there. And by the way, we didn't talk about this. I don't know if you saw it. The breaking news that, and the big is that Cam Smith. The reason why we were able to find Cedric Wilson is another bust by Chris Greer. Bye Cam Smith. I am shocked by this. I can't believe Chris Greer gave up on him. I cannot believe it. I'm shocked. Another bust.
Yeah, but I'm wondering,
how does he not make this team?
Yeah, but I'm wondering if it took so long because Chris Greer finally got pressure. Like, he finally couldn't protect his boy anymore.
Courtney, how does a guy, a second-round pick, in this secondary of no-name defense, not be able to perform? Might be one of the worst picks I've ever seen.
And I rooted for Cam Smith.
This is worse than Liam Eichenberg, and you got to have Jonathan Taylor. Like, this is ridiculous.
I was rooting for Cam Smith in the Fangio era. Like, I was like, why are they not giving him a shot? Like, we need to give him. And I can admit that I fucked up. Yeah. Like, I didn't have all the information. It's him, but he's gone. There's no more Cam Smith. I didn't realize you could cut people on IR, but apparently
once they come off.
Okay.
It was after 4 weeks. So wouldn't it be funny though? I think it would be the funniest thing ever. Tomorrow, Cam Smith's been signed to the Eagles practice squad. That'd be funny.
Can I tell you that you're not the first person I've seen post that.
Or
I don't know if Fangio would
Flo. Or go on the Vikings. But by the way, I'm telling you this right now.
I think that Fangio hated him, so I don't know if he would go.
Yeah, but the problem for me right now, also on the defense, is you keep on watching it. Like, they go, how many great players did you have that you gave it? I would not have Christian Wilkins. The problem with Christian Wilkins is they waited too long to sign him. Still be a Dolphin. How they didn't sign Van Ginkel? You wouldn't have had to have Chop. You wouldn't have had to sign Chop, and you would have gotten a different player instead of Chop. So, like, you could have had Brian Thomas. Like, you could have had all the. That's the problem. Is our draft
Jackson Powers Johnson? Like, I wanted that year. I think that was the year I wanted Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson Powers. Yeah, James. The problem is that you could have had Graham Barton. Could have a lot of players. Graham Barton on the Tampa Bay Bucks. He's been phenomenal. Graham Barton. He played every single role. He's a Swiss Army knife on that line. Overall, the problem is our draft picks have actually significantly affected the players we sign. That we re-sign. Oh, we get Chopper Robinson. We don't need Andrew Van Ginkel. Oh, we don't need Calais Campbell. Mac McDaniel pissed off. That is a pain in the butt to veterans because he's too much of a player's coach. So by Calais Campbell, we'll get Kenneth Grant. Like, we're replacing great players who are capable to be performers for our football team with draft picks. The problem is the draft picks don't come through. Like, if you look back now after this, Will Howard is playing great. People were worried about the injury. Will Howard's doing great in Arizona. And he was supposed to be a top 10 pick, got picked in the second round. It would be great. I'd be very happy to have Will Howard on this football team over Kenneth Grant.
The problem is our management. The problem is the people drafting and signing the deals, and that is Christopher Greer, who is there. It boggles my mind that we have had this like 20-year drought of playoff wins, and he has been on your staff for all 20 of those years. And no one was like, all right, maybe he's a problem.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like I wouldn't be shocked if Ross didn't fire Greer.
I don't think he can fire him. I don't think he'd have the ability. I think he's terrified. Like I've been saying this since day one. The only reason he hasn't fired Chris Greer is because of Brian Flores. Because he knows where the bodies are buried. He knows what happened with Sean Payton and Tom Brady. He knows what happened with Tua. He knows what happened with Flores. He knows everything.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, we can't go on with him. Like he's a cancer on this team.
No, but no matter what happens, until that lawsuit gets resolved and officially resolved, he will be part of this organization because he doesn't. He has to. Chris,
he's
very loyal. He's very loyal. He's too loyal. So he's loyal to a fault. But the problem is because of the fact that he was trying to be loyal to Jim Harbaugh, he keeps on making these boneheaded mistakes, and now he put himself in a position where he doesn't want to make an enemy of Chris Greer. That's the problem. Is I think he thinks if he fires him, Chris Greer is going to spill all the stuff on the Flores lawsuit. Like I just have a feeling that he's the linchpin there, and as long as he keeps him in the fold, he's safe. That's a problem for me. As much as
I'll make it.
Yeah, but the veterans on this team, let's just be clear. The veterans like Jalen Ramsey, came out clear. The reason why veterans like Jalen Ramsey and Calais Campbell aren't here, that's on Mike McDaniel. That the decorum of like you sort of like you're a vet. Remember, like let's say you're I'll give you the best example. I was on a cruise this past summer, and my kids wanted to go try out the kids club. But when they got there, they ended up being stuck in a group at one point with kids who were a little much too young for them in their mind. They were only 2 years younger, but they didn't get stuck with the little older group. They got stuck. They were in that middle, and they couldn't deal with it. So they couldn't deal with the immaturity. They're 10, but they couldn't deal with the 8-year-olds. It was too immature for them. If you're Calais Campbell and Jalen Ramsey, who are dogs who want to win, you're tired of the immaturity of people coming to late to meetings and not doing those things. And what they're trying to do now, and I think what they tried too hard to do in the offseason, is Mike McDaniel can't change the type of coaching. He can't become a hard ass, but at the same time, you have to set some standards. And the fact of the matter is that he's not holding anybody to task. Like, for example, this should fall on Chris Greer too. Like when Tua throws in a bad interception 3 games in a row, can you call him out on the bench? Can he get angry? Why is he allowed to go sit next to Darrell Bevell on the Surface tablet and laugh?
That pisses me off to no end.
It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
Also, that was the same play 3 weeks in a row. Why are we still doing it? Your quarterback can't handle that. Like it's taught in Pee Wee football. You don't panic throw over the middle. Yeah. And then you watch Tua 3 weeks in a row, panic throw an interception over the middle. Yeah. And it's just like, and even last night, he's been throwing some questionable, like he threw one, and I think it was Waddle.
Yeah, he hit the ground. It went too low. Like he went out of space and he dropped it. It was way.
No. Waddle was triple cover. There was 3 guys right around Waddle.
Oh, he gave Waddle a hospital ball yesterday. That's for sure.
And but he's throwing these balls that are a little too high for our short receivers.
Yeah.
But are catchable for the slightly taller 6'2" corners that are around them.
Yeah.
And he keeps throwing it when there's clearly it's not going to be a good ball. They're not going to be ready, but you're throwing it a little too high, and then it's just like elementary in my mind that he's doing. Yeah. And I get it. Oh, and then he goes on and he's like, not just that when he was talking about Cam Newton, you don't know, you couldn't handle a snap in this, in the game. You couldn't do what we do.
Super Bowl, yeah.
And I'm just like, that's not what, because you can't even do what you do. You can't even do what the elite quarterbacks in the league that you're playing in are doing, but you're going to call out other people?
Yeah, well, Tua has the ability to overcome this if he plays to his strengths. The problem is that he's looking for excuses. But right now, Mike McDaniel, I always said this at the beginning of the year, they're not good for each other anymore because of the way that they're playing off each other. The way to correct it is to put Tua in a position where the running game allows Tua the ability to use his accuracy skills to the best of his ability. So you need to run the ball. Like there should never be one play, and that's what happened in the Buffalo game. There should never be a play on 1st and 10 where Tua's throwing the ball.
No.
None. I don't care. Even if you're down with a couple minutes left, set up the pass. Unless there's 30 seconds left and you have to go downfield, great. But at this point, I don't want Tua throwing the ball on 1st down because there's no need to. Establish the run. The way that if you establish the run, then it creates the space for the pass catchers to make plays. That's it. The fact that Nick in one game, Darren Waller has an equal receptions as Nick Westbrook. Nick Westbrook played 4 games. You signed the guy. He had 9 touchdowns in the red zone last year. He has 4 catches for like 10 yards. Like that's not utilizing your big body wide receivers. So in the end, they need to figure this out. The offense right now, I'm less concerned about the offense than I am the defense right now. But at the same time, the offense better figure out the way to complement everybody. Like this is a team by committee. This is Moneyball 101. This is Bill James, Moneyball, baseball, Oakland Athletics of the early 2000s concept. If they don't do it, they're going to get killed. Because if they play, like for example, if they do what they did last night to the Patriots again, they're going to lose. If they do this to any team that is not a bottom feeding team, they're going to lose because they can't continue to give A-10 the ball. Vrabel's too smart for that. Harbaugh's too smart for that. The other Harbaugh's too smart for that. Stefanski's way too smart for that. You're not going to be able to perform. Raheem Morris is too smart for that. So you better figure it out and figure out quick. Like it's nice to get the win column, but people think that was a great win last night. It wasn't a great win.
No, it was ugly win.
It was an ugly. You went against a team that 100 yards of penalties, 100 yards of penalties, and your defense had to get 3 fumbles. So, and one of them was on a play where that first drive was where they went 80 yards running the ball. They never threw. They went 80 yards down the field out throwing the ball. If I'm Mike McDaniel, can you go do something about that? Like the best, honestly, you know what the best player on the field was last night? The best player on the field last night was Jake Bailey. Jake Bailey, who we wanted out of here. We brought in this guy Ryan Stonehouse. He took he had 2 punts that landed at the 3 and the 1, and they didn't go into the end zone. Like those were ginormous plays. The special teams, Ackerman, like Danny.
Can we say how good? I think
our special teams have been phenomenal.
The only unit who I haven't had a complaint about is our special teams,
except for the one game. Except when we got the kick return and then the punt return, that was bad.
But I'm letting it go because every other unit has horrendous.
And don't rush Jason Sanders back. Like our new kicker, Riley Patterson, he's been great. He hasn't missed a thing.
Can we also just say how nice it is to have a return man who actually excitingly returns you the ball and sets you up for a good field position?
2. Estridge does it too. Estridge and Washington have both been great.
I think I like Washington a little better than Estridge, but they're both the step up from Mr. Mid himself to where we were consistently not getting past the 30.
Is he on a team?
He's with the Texans.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Well, the Texans are awful too. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's the thing about this. I think actually that's why honestly the AFC, the football this year has been it's been great, but at the same time it's been very subpar in terms of how teams are performing. Like even if you look at how the Bills been, yes, they're undefeated, and so are the Eagles, but they've had moments of not great football. But also what you're learning right now, and it actually sort of maybe plays the Dolphins' advantage, is a lot of teams are not going deep anymore or relying on their wide receivers. If you go look at A.J. Brown, you live near Philly, he is pissed.
Yeah, he's not happy.
The way he's being played. Jamar Chase is pissed. CeeDee Lamb is out. Like, now Tyreek is out. Like, the only person who's starring right now as a wide receiver is Puka Nacua. Like, everyone else is just much maligned right now. Like who would have told you? If someone would have told you that Jackson Smith Enigma would be the second top receiver, Justin Jefferson would be 6, Jamar Chase would be like 15th, like AJ Brown would be like 20, like in the 40s or 50s. Like it's changed a lot. It's become a more of a running league, more dictated league. You can utilize the pass, but it's really becoming tight end focused. It's very much look at Tyler Warren. Like it's becoming very tight end focused, running game focused in space.
I feel like the league goes through phases because you remember back with like the Steel Curtain, and that's when defenses were big, and then they had the Jerome Bettis, the Larry Zonka, like there's been like bursts of it, but I just think that we are moving into a new chat. Like the strictly pocket passing quarterbacks are phasing out, and now the mobility of your quarterback is in. And back with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, that your quarterback wasn't like they were supposed to. The Ben Roethlisberger, your quarterback was supposed to stand in the pocket and take the hit, but also still get that ball out. And now it's take off and run, like your Lamar style, Justin Fields, just like it's just an evolving league, which is fun. It's interesting, but it also is unpredictable.
Right now there's no team that's everyone right now. Even Philly looks kind of weird right now. They're coming back in games, but the fact they're 0-8.5 for Jalen Hurts, like the only team right now, people are saying this is Buffalo's year. But you want to know what? Buffalo will hit Kansas City, and you never know. Like there's still a lot of runway. The problem is that most fan bases are not happy with their teams right now. Like we're not the only ones. That's the only saving grace. So like anything can happen. Like Carolina has not looked great. The last 2 weeks, the Chargers haven't looked great. The Ravens haven't looked great. The Bucs fumbled again this past weekend. The Eagles, even at 4-0, have not looked great. The only team that's really stood out is Buffalo. But the problem with Buffalo is even halfway through the game yesterday, they didn't look great against New Orleans. New Orleans was keeping up with them at one point.
Yeah, but so did we. Like everybody expected Buffalo to stomp all over us.
Oh, we crapped the bed against them.
We did, but they didn't. They didn't look like a Super Bowl caliber. The expectation was Buffalo is so tremendously better than Miami that they're actually not. They get like a couple of lucky plays. Something goes
penalty.
They're the
new running into the punter.
They're the new Chiefs, and with the refs, and I don't care what anybody. I'll defend that to the death. But no, I mean they get all the good calls because Josh Allen is like the favorite for some fucking reason. But no, but they're not this super dominant force that has to be reckoned with. Listen, I cheer for everybody to lose so that our 72 record stays. But the problem is that this year, like, there's so many bad teams that I don't know.
Yeah, there are a lot of bad teams. When is Buffalo going to lose? Everyone's looking at when's Buffalo going to lose? When's Philly going to lose? Like, it doesn't matter. Honestly, but there won't be a 17-0 team. It's never going to happen. Just nothing.
I don't know.
It's not going to happen.
Knock on wood.
Not going to happen. But no, right now, the team right now is at a point where, by the way, let me ask you, because I swear I was getting text messages from lots of family members last night. And I was like really split. What did you think of the rival jerseys?
They're fine.
I find that they looked good until they were on camera. They were nice until they actually went live. Like, I think they're nice to have. Like, it's a cool collector's item, but like honestly, they didn't stand out to me.
It's whatever. I would have liked, and I would have been more excited for a throwback.
Yeah.
For like the old 90s logo, the 70s, like a throwback that specific teal. Everybody knows when I say like not the new teal, the old. Like I would have gotten more excited for a throwback than just like a random, basically black, navy, whatever the debate is. Like, cool. I didn't buy one. I didn't buy into it. I honestly, I'm not going to pay more into this team.
Oh, I haven't bought a thing. I haven't bought a thing in a year plus.
I've bought things like secondhand or like unofficial. I'm not buying any official merch.
I haven't bought a thing. Except my last thing I purchased, because I did it for me and I have it behind my jacket, I have a FinStanza jersey. So when I was there last year, I bought myself a FinStanza jersey just because I thought it was fun for me. I always wanted to have. I might as well put my nickname on the back of a jersey. It was cool. I got a lot of people stopping me at the game when I did it, which was kind of funny. because people want to know the story, like where'd you come up with that nickname, and it was obviously funny to tell the story. But no, for me, I'm not spending money on merch on this team until they actually prove
Perform.
me wrong.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong.
No, I'm with you there. Okay, so let's move into this weekend. Dolphins, Panthers.
Yeah.
Are you expecting another win on a short week without Tyreek Hill, which means less time to game plan offensively?
I want to pull up the Panthers. Well, the person I'm most Bryce Young, I'm not that concerned about. McMillan, who was a guy I really, really liked in the draft, does concern me a little bit because he has been a go-to for Bryce Young, but they've been a Jekyll and Hyde, right? Like they have a decent defense. They have a good defense. All things considered, I think it's better than their offense, but I think we have ways to counterattack it. Like this is the opportunity for Mike McDaniel to continue to do what he did last night, but the only difference should be you give Devon Achane more touches in space than you do behind as a running back. Honestly, I don't care. Even if you do a check down, it's fine, but do it in space for him. Let him make plays. Don't let him go between the tackles. It just doesn't work. It's not a sustainable way of doing it. I think it's nice that they're going on the road. 3 or 4 are next on the road, so that's going to be a challenge for them. But I think they can utilize that because I think the last thing they want is for them to struggle at home and the team to turn on them.
Yeah.
This is a good bonding experience for them. That they're going to have the next 3 to 4 on the road. This is not a long trip for them. This flight is like under an hour. It's like not even like it's like an hour. They're going to have like a puddle jump almost. So I'm not too concerned. Carolina's not a great team. They beat the division rival again with the Falcons, but besides that, they have not looked great. This should be no victory is easy, but this should be a win for the Dolphins, even without Tyreek Hill, because overall talent-wise, they have a better team. As much as we make fun of Tua, he is a better overall quarterback than Bryce Young. They don't have a player on offense the equivalent of Devon Achane. They don't have a tight end with the size of Darren Waller. They do not have. Yes, they have Tate McMillan, but Jalen Waddle is a more experienced guy. And honestly, and then Mike McDaniel, I'm sorry, David Canales is in his second year coaching a rebuilding team. You're in your 4th year of a team that was supposed to do something. This is a team. This should be a win. I don't care. For me, I'm not worried about dominating wins. Pick up victories. I don't care. And in the end, like I said, Moneyball. So the goal is to get yards, and then the yards lead to win. So that's what they need to do. They have to dictate the clock. That's also what I didn't like about last night's game, by the way. It was equal playing time for both teams. The Dolphins have to kill the clock. They have to own the time of possession, and they still don't do it.
For me, the biggest thing is going to be the defense.
Yeah.
Actually making stops, making impactful plays. Because even though the Panthers suck right now, it's just so easy. Our defense, I want to see 3 and outs. I want to see, I want to see them be able to make these stops that they definitely can't. And yeah, even though you can say that Bryce Young is not as good as Tua, against our defensive line and our defensive front, he could be. He could have a better day than Tua just because, not because their offense is stronger than ours, but because our defense is weaker than theirs. And that's my biggest fear.
And by the way, the only Dolphins, like the person who can give sort of some feedback on how Mike McDaniel does things, isn't playing. Rob Hunt is not on the field. Rob Hunt's on injured reserve. So we don't have to worry about Rob Hunt being able to dictate what happens on the field against that defense.
We need to win in the trenches and the run. Run defense.
Oh, the run defense is a joke. If you look at the running backs for them,
doesn't matter. He's going to have 150 yards.
Bryce Young can move outside the pocket. I'm just trying to see who the running backs are. They don't really follow them as much as they should.
Bryce Young's pretty mobile.
Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard's a decent player, but I don't see. And they have Trevor Etienne, Travis's brother, but they shouldn't be able to beat up on this defense. I don't know what they're going to do, but I would not play Kenneth Graham. I don't care if it's Matthew Butler. I don't care who. Just do something. Try something different because it's not working. The Zach Sealer needs something. It's not working.
My fear though is that they're not making these changes or these adjustments, and I know that that's naive, and everyone's like, "Oh, they get paid to do these quarterbacks or game planning." What like the coaches are game planning? I just don't see it, and it could just be because I'm a silly little girl, but I'm not seeing the defensive changes that I want to see week in.
Well, they got turnovers. At least they were able to break the ball. Like they were able to. But the thing is, people talked about last night. Oh, wow, they got 3 fumbles. Fumbles are great. Intercept the goddamn ball. Like make a play. Like teams are doing it to us. Why can't we do it to them?
That's because teams aren't throwing the ball against us very often.
No,
they're just running it down our throats, and they realize they can milk clock. They can steal the time of possession, and they can get the chunks running the ball. So why throw it?
The problem is if we can try and go get a player or two. The problem is, do you want Chris Greer to be the guy to go make a trade? Because they're not going to find someone on the.
I know. I was down to win 0 to 3 games this year. Get rid of Greer, get rid of McDaniel, get rid of Tua.
I wanted them gone last night.
And dangle it all and give me Rex Ryan the keys to the castle.
The problem with Rex Ryan, I know you love him. The problem is he's sort of his mouth. He's pulling a Tua, and the way he's talking, he's knocking himself out of interviews. He may sound good, but the same way with Gruden. The way they're talking right now, they're not speaking like people who want. Like when Sean Payton took a break, he spoke calmly. He went on Fox and he spoke calmly. When people take Bill Belichick took a break, he went to talk. He spoke quietly. Like when people go take breaks, they keep their mouth shut a little bit and are conservative. The problem is that people with mouths who we all like. The problem is that's not going to appeal to Stephen Ross.
I think it appeals to me because I have a similar mouth.
Yeah, but
I'm like, I want that mouth in my locker room because that mouth is the one that when a player isn't playing is going to hold them accountable. That's the mouth that on the sidelines will go over to Weaver and be like, get your defense fucking right.
Yeah.
But it's not the mouth that is PR appropriate, but I just like the experience. And I think that even Gruden and Rex give you the best, have been head coaches, but they are more no nonsense, old school. And I think that's what Miami needs. They don't need these new age players.
No, only veteran.
They don't need players coaches. They need hard ass old school dudes that are going to hold you accountable and make you perform.
I know. I make the joke, even though it's not a bad. People say, Mike McCarthy. The difference with Mike McCarthy is he's won a Super Bowl. He has a 600 winning percentage. He looks intimidating to me. Even though he had the problem was he was tied to Dallas. That was the problem. Is that the Dallas mentality? The problem in the end. Trust me, Dan Quinn on my sideline, I would take because Dan Quinn would have been was a coach in Atlanta. Got kicked in the teeth by Bill Belichick in that Super Bowl, and he would have learned his lesson. And now in Washington, he's doing a good job. So for me, you need a veteran head coach no matter what. Mike McDaniel, I've said to the people who come on our shows with me and Bobby and everybody who knock me for being so negative, and I used to be the most positive guy around. If Mike McDaniel proves me wrong, great. The problem is that he hasn't yet, and he continues to get in his own way by making ridiculously poor decisions. People are saying, "Oh, yay, we got our win last night." It wasn't a great win, and honestly, if you play like that for 60 minutes against Carolina, it's going to be it's going to be like a 3-point game, and it could swing either way. And everyone who was all gung-ho last night is going to be all back to the same mentality. The difference is, if we would have had Tyreek Hill. No, because you want to know what? That wasn't an excuse for Dallas when they lost CeeDee Lamb. It's not going to be an excuse for Baltimore when Lamar Jackson needs to sit out a game. Right? Like, it doesn't work that way. Like, if a player gets injured, next man up. No Joe Burrow. You want to know what? If they lose one more game in Cincinnati, they're going to can Zach Taylor because Jamar Chase won't stand for it. The $4 million receiver is not going to play. AJ Brown is a baby, and if you ask any Eagles fans, they want to get rid of him because he's acting sort of like how the way Tyreek acted last year. But the problem is that trust me, you'll miss him when he's gone. You'll miss him. He may be
Actually,
able to get.
Eagle fans don't. Eagle fans are a different breed mentally,
They're psycho.
and as long as the team's winning, they're good, and they're like, "Oh, he's fine. He's just being a baby. You know, it's fine." But as soon as they're losing, they'll slit your throat of their own team. Like they'll be like, "Oh, we lost. Okay." Like they'll throw the batteries at their own player. Like they are. So they're all complacent right now because they're happy. And frankly, the biggest name in Philadelphia is Cooper DeJean. He is king in this city. He is loved by Eagle fans. So that's funny to see a corner being the bread and butter of Philadelphia right now.
And by the way, Miss Phins, I know who she's talking about. We know who she's talking about. He has a great defense. Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Phins knows.
Flo's going to get a job next year. Flo's going to be a head coach next year. Trust me. Flo has a better chance of being a head coach next year than Weaver right now. I can promise you that.
Well, Miss Phins and me agree on the hard ass old school guy and a guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. We just need a veteran hard ass. The problem is Chris Greer doesn't like veteran hard asses because they tell him what they.
Yeah, well, I need Chris Greer to be out on his hard ass.
I know, but the problem is that they don't have. The problem is that in the end, it starts with a veteran, either hiring an advisor who is willing to just come in, an old guy like the old Bill Polian type of thing, where you're bringing a guy who just there, you pay him as a consultant to find the right general manager. I don't mind if the next general manager is a hot shot, like a young guy, but I'd rather have the head coach be a no-nonsense guy who has player personnel. So it has to be one. Either you hire a vice president of football operations, who hires the young GM, and then you hire an old school veteran coach, or you hire a guy who has player personnel experience, who's a veteran head coach, who could work with the general manager, basically tell him what to do. Then you don't need the they don't need the president of football ops, because in theory the head coach is the president of football ops. But in theory, you need one or the other. But I'm less worried about the GM. I don't mind. Go to the Eagles, go to the Chiefs, go to the Ravens, go to teams.
Go to an established organization.
Go to the Lions. Go somewhere right now that's won the last couple of years. Go get their new hot shot. Go get your Jonah Hill from Moneyball, like I keep on referring to. Like, go get your guy who knows what the heck he's doing. But at the same time, right now, Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer aren't going anywhere because they're going to. Steve Ross is going to be told, no Tyreek Hill. We're going to be able to figure this out. But if it doesn't, but in the end, they think they're in the end, that's their way to save face for the rest of the year. Because I don't think, weirdly enough, unless you go internal to Weaver, you're not going to get anybody else to come in and try this out for the year because they're not going to come in without Tyreek Hill. So in theory, you have a choice. You either go with Weaver, who's struggling on the defense, or you stick with the W&O with Mike McDaniel. That's the problem. Always, like I said, we talked about the beginning of the show. Mike McDaniel's biggest problem right now is his usage of Devon Achane. Not the amount of times he's using it, the way he's using it.
I think it's the amount of times he's using them too.
Yeah, no, in the running game. I don't mind if he gets 20 touches, but give him 10, give him 12 touches.
I just don't want to
touches, but give him 12 rushes, give him 8 receptions. I don't care. But spread him out.
I don't want to see him up the middle anymore. I mean, the amount of times I saw him, the Dolphins try to do the I formation last night made me want to just.
No, he won't. No, he'll become a special advisor. He will not have decisions on player personnel.
I hope he becomes the VP of injuries and they just lock him in a room.
He'll become a special advisor to the owner or something.
Yeah, special advisor for injuries. And just have him go scour college for every player that has an injury. Let him roll over it. Yeah. And then have your new GM cross that name off every list that you want to do. Yeah. That's what I want. That's what Chris Greer should do. That should be his new job. You're welcome, Stephen Ross.
Yeah. The problem right now, Stephen Ross is very, very loyal and very, very scary. He's sort of lost right now. He's sort of like, he doesn't know. He's at that turn where you go, do I go left? Do I go right? And he doesn't know what to do because he doesn't have. Problem is, someone like Dan Marino, who's should be someone who's a capable person of advising him. He's not. Like for me right now, the next executive, I wish we could wait 2-3 more years. The executive I would want right out of his retirement to be retired is Calais Campbell. Like that's a future executive of a football team. Like that guy has already built his CV up the way he's had his career. Like I don't want to hear about Louis Riddick. I don't want anyone from the media. I want someone who is an established executive, either of a former team or a young type who's. I don't mind the hotshot guy because those are people who are grinding. I want a grinder. I don't want a guy who comes in with his new era golf hack and sits there and basically says, we're more worried about the offensive line than you are, or the fact that I'm getting death threats. The fact that you're getting death threats. Okay, come, guys, Stephen Ross has to know. If your fan base is paying thousands of dollars to hire an airplane to circle your stadium twice, can you imagine? Okay, you understand? Like, if they lose to Carolina, there's going to be we love Herbert's greater than Tua sign going up in the air on fan club weekend. Can you imagine?
I'll be there. I'll be dangling from the sign.
Yeah. Herbert greater than Tua if they lose to Carolina.
That would be my luck. Is that the one game I'm going down for could potentially be just like awful loss to Carolina. Everyone's ready to, or they could be coming off a win in Carolina. Either way, I'm going to let you guys know right now, Chris Greer better not come across me because I will look this man dead in the eye and tell him that he needs to get the fuck off my team.
He only goes down to the field. He goes down to the field and runs back up and he hides. You never see
I see him going to the bathroom, walking to the parking lot. If I see anyone, I'll be like, hey, yo, can you tell Chris Greer he needs to get fired?
Yeah.
I saw somebody today post about like being a Mike McDaniel mega fan. And like, that's weird to me that like fans of our team are just like hyper fixating on like staff members.
Yeah, that's the problem. When you're not focusing on your players and you're more concerned about your executive and your coach who are becoming the center of attention, that's a problem.
No, but this team, the fan base is like, I always want, I have my like emotional player. It was X. It was Cameron Wake.
Yeah.
It's Devon Achane now. Like they're my guy. But once they're off our team, I just find a new one because my goal is the team. But there's a lot of fans that are like fans of the player over the team, like the Tua people. And like now there's like some McDaniel stands and it's almost like you're making the player bigger than the team. And I think we all need to realize like it's the team over the player at the end of the day. Miss Phins, the fact that you know that it's a McGroupie, you must have t-shirts. She's in the club. She's president of the McGroupies.
Okay, excuse me. There's no leader of the McDaniel, the McMoron Club, the McDoofus Club, the McDonald's Club than me. There's over 100 shows on this network where I have ripped Mike McDaniel. Not one, not two, over 100.
These are the ones that love him. Miss Phins has a
you understand? Like I'm taken to task all the time about Mike McDaniel. Bobby goes to me. He's a rookie head coach. He'll be fine. I go.
Listen, I was excited about him.
I called this after the 49ers game. I said in that 49ers game where Tua had a bad game and I figured it out. And I go, Mike McDaniel ain't the coach. We need to fire him after 1 year. Get rid of him.
I liked
70-20.
I liked him, the signing. Like I was ready to give him a chance.
I gave him a chance, but I knew
be a great thing. But it's just like steadily gotten worse over the years. But my point is that I've never like obsessed over a player. Even Xavier Howard, you guys, he left. I didn't root for him in the Colts game. I'm not sitting here like he left. Okay. Like the joke about my obsession is fine. Cameron Wake. I mean, I literally named a child after him. And like, he left and he died to me then. So
really, yeah. Keep trolling. I'm the biggest McDaniel troll.
Listen, I'll find this out when I see Miss Phins at the Chargers game because I will hunt her down. Miss Phins, I hope you're ready.
I took her for dinner. I paid her dinner when I saw her 2 years ago.
I'm going to find her, and she's probably going to be wearing a McDaniel shirt. I wouldn't be surprised.
By the way,
she's going to hand me a card membership club and ask me to fill out the application.
He's a good person. He's a smart guy. it's too big for his britches. It's like basically driving. It's like basically basically got his license. It's like practicing. I'm sure one day you and I are going to have to teach our kids how to drive, yeah, etc. And I'm going to have to teach my kid how to drive in Canada, and in the U.S. where you drive on one side of the road. But then the first day they get their license, it's like taking them to England and driving on the wrong side of the road on the opposite side of your car. That's Mike McDaniel as a head coach. He's never learned how to actually drive the way he's supposed to drive because he literally got promoted from being Kyle Shanahan's assistant where he had no control over, here's control, go. It doesn't make sense. So for me, how do you expect to, like a teacher without doing your education degree? Yes, he grew on different franchises, but he's never been the true Weaver too. Went from a D line to a D coordinator, but he doesn't have that sort of mentor. That's the problem right now. Is that you wish Mike McDaniel had the fire of Anthony Weaver, so he actually could mask the fact that he's a decent head coach. The problem is he doesn't have any say. He's in his play call sheet all day. And right now, right now, I'm going to be harder on him than ever without the Tyreek Hill injury because this is his time to become a head coach. Because his only true leader on the team as an actual football player was Tyreek Hill. You don't have him anymore. And by the way, I made this prediction last night. I'm the only one who said it so far. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Do not be surprised.
Okay.
If the next time Tyreek Hill, if he ever does take a play ever again, if he's with the Miami Dolphins. And the reason I say that, he's going through a lawsuit. His family's in Florida. That's where they're all set up. His ex-wife is, everything's all set up for him here. His next contract, he's going to have to earn that contract back. He's going to be a 32-year-old coming off an injury. He might need to take a simple incentive-based contract where very little, if nothing guaranteed, and he has to earn his way back. And I don't think a lot of teams are just going to take him at his word. I think he might want to come back to where he is most comfortable. And that's with Miami. I really don't. I don't see him necessarily running anywhere else. I think his first choice is going to want to come back to Miami. I'm actually convinced of that. I'm one of the few people that said it. On the same way, I think they shouldn't trade him. Don't be surprised if he takes another snap. And if shockingly enough, they turn this around and somehow they make a playoff, even if they lose in the playoffs, which will still save Mike McDaniel's job. If he makes the playoffs from here, he's not losing his job, and I will have to eat crow again. But I don't think that's going to happen. But if it does, Tyreek Hill will be a Miami Dolphin next season. I'm totally convinced of that. Totally convinced.
I guess we'll see because I didn't believe that he would come back, but only because the injury, I just wonder if he's ever going to be the same or have the same ability to play at that caliber. Because that knee went in a way that it shouldn't have gone. And even though they can put it back together, I guess we'll have to see how his rehab goes. I wish for the best. I would love to see him a Dolphin one more time and have like a revenge season.
I think he should be. I think that every game right now, between now and the rest of the year, there should be someone holding a phone, and he should be. I think honestly, the best option right now, because I don't trust Tua. Let him hype him up from a distance. I don't care how. Let him hype him up.
Yeah.
I think he should be in every single home game, in the suite or on the field. I don't care if he's on crutches. Let him. I really think he needs to be a coach for the rest of the year. Honestly. Because also,
I think we'll see him back on the sidelines.
Also, it's for his therapy and everything. The Dolphins have to support him right now. They have to pay him. So right now for the year, he has to play. He has to be here. So in the end, you might as well utilize his.
I mean, I would assume that in a couple of weeks you'll start to see him on the sideline. Cap says the reports are coming out.
No, it's not. Because he didn't tear every ligament. It's actually, he doesn't need another surgery. It could be career ending, but they said the same thing about Jalen Ramsey. They said the same thing about Alex.
Yeah, but this, it went the wrong way. I thought they said they tore all the ligaments and they had one surgery to repair it all.
They repaired all of it.
Yeah, but.
And I don't see Tyreek, by the way, you tell Tyreek, if you tell Tyreek Hill,
they're going to be the same.
Tyreek Hill is not a guy to quit. He's
No.
not. He's not. If anyone's going to fight to come back, it will be Tyreek Hill. He's a dog. He's a dog. Dog, they fight. They fight. Right? I think he'll be back.
All right. So what are your predictions for the game on Sunday? We'll wrap it up that way.
What will be the predictions to the Sunday's game? I think that if they perform, if I believe Mike McDaniel is finally having his come to Jesus moment and realizing that the only way to win is to really spread the ball, rush more than you pass, who is a game manager, let your best players win you the football game. And I think that after last night's game, I think that Weaver will find a way to be, and it will do enough. This will be a tight game. This will be a hold your newspaper, squeeze it till the end. I'm going to be throwing it. I might break. This will be a tight game. This will be a 3-point swing. I could see this being a 27-24, 24-21 type of football game. But I actually am convinced, because I think it's just the mindset, the Dolphins will win. And people are going to say, we're back. We're back. The
100%.
Dolphins will win on Sunday. This is one of those moments where the Dolphins are going to win by the skin of their teeth, but it's going to create that little bit of momentum and that pressure, because the Chargers are coming to town. Because you just imagine, the Chargers are now 2-2. They lost last week, right? I think they're 2-2, right? Chargers? Were they 3-1 or 2-2? The Chargers.
I thought they were 2-2. I could be wrong.
I can't remember if they lost last. I think they lost last week, right? Or they won. I'm trying to look at their stats. Are they 3-1 or? The Chargers are 3-1. They're 3-1.
Okay.
So imagine they go three. They're 3-2. We're 2-3. And then we become 3-3, and we're equal to Chargers. That's the motivation. We're back. We're back. We're back. It will be an important game. So that, I think, to create the drama that the Dolphins always like to do before we get kicked in the teeth again.
Yeah.
Because also, I don't think they want to go at the fan club weekend, which being 1-4.
I would not like that.
The Boo Birds will be out quick.
I was like, of course, the year that I finally get to go down is like not a great year for us. I think that I think the Dolphins are going to win. It's going to be, but I think it's going to be a low scoring, tight game as well.
Yeah. This will be a game where it's going to be a time of possession game. Who bends, who breaks who bends and does not break. I can see it happening again. But in the end, the way ironically, the Dolphins, when they've been at their strongest, actually, is I want them to lose the toss every game. They need the ball first. They need the ball first. They need to get the lead before anything else. So that's what I want to see first. I want to see the Dolphins get the ball first, so they can establish, at least get some points on the board, whether it's 3 or 7. Because if they fall behind 7-0 early, quick, and they don't establish the tempo of the game at the beginning, that's when they've struggled so far this season.
No, I agree. They don't do well coming back from a deficit.
Or early in the game. If they're down 7-0 right away, they're toast.
Yeah.
Lose the toss.
I mean, I hate that, but if you guys, Evan, are you coming to Fan Club Weekend this year?
The only reason I can't come to Fan Club Weekend is the flights are not normal. I could easily come to a game. Because it's Canadian Thanksgiving, I started looking at flights a month ago, and unless I blow all my points, which would cost me I'm not kidding, to get to Florida right now from Montreal, which would normally cost like $400 or $500, is $1,200-$1,300 just to fly 3 hours.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's really rough. I have a place to stay. The problem is that, unless a flight drops really quickly right now, which I potentially could, I'm still looking. Then I would show up, because you can get to the stadium for nothing right now. Like last night's game, like
$30.
I can go. It was $18 Canadian. For me, yesterday morning, I could have bought a ticket for $18 Canadian.
Miss Finn said fly to Buffalo.
No, I did. Even with stopovers, unless I drive to Burlington, Vermont.
What about Philly?
It's a problem.
What about Philly? Because Philly to
I have to drive somewhere, but I really don't want to spend my weekend alone driving somewhere, because I really prefer just to get on a flight, go enjoy my weekend, come back. I really don't want to take a drive to the States and then clear cut. Like I want it to
No.
be
So I'm flying from, obviously I'm from Philly.
yeah.
Do you want to know? This will make you mad. Do you know how much my tickets were to get to Florida? Round trip,
Probably 400, $300.
$87.
Round trip?
Round trip.
How's that possible?
I got
With who? Southwest? What did you saw?
Frontier. Do you want to know the
I can't get there.
do you know that was the selling point. I was like, maybe I'll come to Fan Club weekend if the ticket, the flights are reasonable, because I can get, I have a place to stay. I can get around if the flights are reasonable. And it was $87. And I was on the phone with Planty and she was like, yeah, you have to book that. And $87. I actually paid more because I ended up like buying my seat. And I was like, if it's this cheap and I don't have the kids, I want to have a window seat. Like I want to be comfortable.
I'd love to show up. I want to come so badly. I tried. Like even if I try to do a ticket separately, also for me, it's a 3-hour flight. Why am I stopover? Like I really don't feel like getting on another plane. I've never in my life, in my entire 42 years of existence being a kid, had a stopover to Florida. I have a family home. I've never had to. There's direct flights. They're just not normal, the prices. They're just absolute. I'm willing to do a stopover. I'm willing to do it. There's just nothing. There's
I don't know. I got lucky because I was shocked when I saw the price too. It was a direct flight, but here's the downfall though, is I have an early morning 5 a.m. flight. So that's gonna be like, I don't know if I'm going to bed that night. But yes, I will be at, I believe, all the events.
Where are you staying? What area are you staying in?
I'm staying, actually, me and Planty, once I booked my flight to go down, Planty was like, you can't go without me now. So her and her husband, actually, we are staying at an Airbnb together.
Okay. Where's Planty live?
She's in California.
Wow. She's coming all the way across country. Good for her.
Yeah, well, she had FOMO. So
okay.
She didn't want to miss out. And she said I couldn't be there without her. So now we've planned but I think Boat Campers is where all these events take place. And I'm excited to meet everybody. I want to tailgate the game. I want to do all the things. So if anybody wants to DM me if I'm missing any, I don't know, where do they announce an official fan club event schedule?
No, usually the only main one, I've done it, and main one is Boat Campers. Like people sometimes host their own little fan club, but the main one is get there early to tailgate on Sunday. Miss Phins will probably tell you a lot of what's going on, but the main one, as of 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, is to be at Boat Campers for hours.
At 2 in the afternoon, I thought it was gonna be dinner time.
No, people go there early. I remember last year we did it. 2 years ago when we did it, the podcast. I ended up doing a podcast with Stephen Daniels and Manny and me and Bobby and everyone. We were there for 5-6 hours. We were there from 2 to 7 or 8 o'clock, 6 or 7 o'clock.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
3 p.m. But people get there earlier. People are there always earlier eating.
Starts at 3. Okay.
Yeah,
Saturday,
people always get there earlier.
All right. Well, if your guys are there, I'll be there. Although I still stand that I don't think anyone's gonna recognize me or I'm just, so everybody knows, I'm not introducing myself as Doll. If you meet me in public, I tell you my actual name. I'm not going to be like, hi, I'm Doll.
Oh, it's so funny because it's so weird when we're on the show. It says FinStanza and most people call me Evan. And I go I'm so confused. Steve Malloy has never called me FinStanza. It says he calls me Evan. And I go, stop telling people my name. But when I first walked into Boat Campers, I never heard my name. It was only FinStanza. That's how people refer to me. It's just how.
Well, that's what I think is that people are going to be like, hey, Doll. And then, but I would feel, and Miss Phins can maybe tell me if she does this too. She said she's Miss Phins everywhere. Do you not feel like an asshole being like, I'm Doll? You should know who I am. I just feel like you kind of are an asshole at that point. But I made Doll so that I wasn't giving all of my personal details on the internet when I made a Twitter.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, people might have to tell me their screen name if
Problem is you don't recognize. I that's why now 2 years ago I knew nobody. I knew a few people because I engaged with them, but I got to meet all these people. Now it's I recognize everybody.
Well, that's what I've never seen people's faces. So if you don't have your face on your profile picture, but we interact, I'm not going to recognize you. We will scream doll. Please. Thanks. Then I'm going to leave because of my, don't forget, I still have my social anxiety, you guys. So you got to give me some time. Like I got to get there and like warm up because I have a little.
Your life would be easier if I was there, but
it would be.
I'm going to try. I'll try to figure it out. The problem is if the flight drops, I will use points. The problem is I'm not going to blow all my points on.
Also, Jonathan, no, I'm not going to the Steelers game as of right now. My entire family backed out because nobody wanted to drive to Pittsburgh in the middle of winter. So as of right now, I'm not, but I'm debating going to the MetLife takeover. But again, that's going to be snow dependent. If there's snow on the ground,
December 7th, they're in New York and New Jersey. They won't be.
If it's below like 20 degrees, I will stay my ass at home. It's just, I don't like to be cold. So, yeah, you'll have to let me know if you find a cheap flight that's $87.
Yeah, because I just don't want to spend. I know I have to buy the ticket and all that. I just rather.
Miss Finn said, "Hey, question. I'm going to the Jet and Steeler game. What type of car should I rent?" It's really going to depend. If there's no snow on the ground, it doesn't matter. But if there's snow on the ground, definitely get something with all-wheel drive.
And winter tires.
I don't know if they put winter tires on their rental cars, but definitely all-wheel drive if there's snow on the ground, which you'll know like before you go. But yeah, definitely all-wheel drive. Yeah, the Steelers game is a family tradition, but my brothers backed out. My actual little brother's going to the Ravens Steelers game. So
hopefully I'll find a way. You never know. I did this one I did last minute. I'll even come my own. I always try to con Bobby, but Bobby is always.
Well, let me know. Me and Planty will be down there.
I know I'll be there. I know everyone is going to be there. It's more about I'll look to you.
Well, if you see Planty, you'll see me, and if you see me, you'll see Planty, because we pretty much have made it like a girls' weekend because we've never met in person either. But so we are.
Yeah, when Bobby, that was the most hilarious thing. When Bobby met me for the first time, because he's only seen me really sitting.
Yeah.
And he looked up and he goes, "Hi." Like he was like, "Oh, who's the bouncer picking me up at the airport?" Because I was already there for a day, and I was at my place, and I had work that day. I could work from anywhere. And like I picked him up at the airport, and we got to go to Kingsware. Like the reason, I'm sure you don't know this, but most of the people, the reason why Kingsware is associated to our network is I brought Bobby to Kingsware, and like I'd gone there a bunch of times, and we got to meet the people there a little bit. But like, no, I would love to just be there with everybody. So hopefully I can swing something.
Miss Finns, I'm coming in on Friday, and I actually have I need to add you to the group chat because there's a section of us girls that are going to try to get together on Friday night for a girls' night only. Sorry, boys.
Flanagan's.
So I'm going to add you to that chat because I just created it really quickly, but we want to do a girls' Fins chat, but we're keeping it small because we don't want it to be like crazy, but just a bunch of the girls want to get together. So I'll add you to it. That's a thing that we're doing now that everybody knows. The girls of Dolphins Twitter want to get together. It was a couple of our ideas, but we were all talking individually, and I was like, why don't we just make one group chat so that we don't have 85 things we can plan schedule. So Friday night, Miss Fins, just a fair warning to everybody, I will have a 5 a.m. flight that morning, so I can't guarantee what state I'll be in by Friday night. I am planning naps. I don't hang well, you guys. I'm a mom. But no, there'll be girls' night. There's like the game. We're gonna tailgate with Tailgate East. Like we're gonna do the whole thing. My goal, if anybody has tips, is to try to get my son wants Jalen Waddle's autograph. So that's gonna be my goal game day, is to find Jalen Waddle or find.
What you have to do is you have to go see either Chris Barker or you have to go see. His name for a second. The guy with the mask, I forget his name. Yeah, who are sitting low, and who go on the field and ask them, I'm going to give you this. You meet them at boat campers. Here's my autograph. Can you go get this autograph for me? And then meet them after the game. They will do it for you.
Yeah, if anybody can get on the field or anything, I will hand you my child's shirt that he just wants Jalen Waddle to sign. I will pay a child. If Jalen Waddle's only signing 4 children, I will pay a child to have my child thing. It's not for me. I don't want to look weird like the grown-ass woman like leaning over screaming for Jalen Waddle's name. Like, swear to my son, he's like, if I can't come, then you need to get me Jalen Waddle's autograph. So I will do my best. But that might be a good idea. I don't know who has field.
Chris Barker does. There's a few people. I can probably
need to find somebody with field access and just ask them for it.
Exactly.
That's what Lisa told me too, Miss Phins, is to get in there. She said like 90 minutes before the game starts and try to like get it. So that might be a good idea. Or maybe if I see like Carol or Chris Barker, I can like smuggle them in a shirt and be like, can you just have somebody sign this?
Yeah, that's your best option.
We're going to Tootsie's. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
You guys are wild. We will have field access after the game for Big Picture 2. Wait, can I come?
Yeah, you probably follow them if you need that.
Can I just follow you, Miss Phins?
A lot of people. Some people get tours of the stadium. The problem is the player will be.
Can I tell you right now, if somebody can get me on the field and I walk by Jalen Waddle doing his Phins for the win, I might die on the spot because that means a lot.
Yeah, you wait for that every game.
Every game. I will not go to bed. I will not get off the door. I don't move from the couch. Like, to me, we didn't win until Jalen Waddle tells me that we got Phins for the win. It's like I get itchy. I was getting itchy last night. It took too long to get it. We'll have field access. That's a game for Big Picture 2. It's a huge event, so we get access. All right, well, find me. We're going to have to find me and direct me where to go because me and Planty will be there like lost kittens. I haven't been to the stadium since it was Sun Life Stadium. See, now I'm even more excited. And it's next week, by the way. Do they do like, is it like a huge group picture of all the fans, I wonder, like for their social media? I'll be at section 133. I don't know where I'm staying. Planty has our tickets. So I think we're up in the club seats somewhere. I don't know. That was her job.
Well, you got the price for the tickets. You have to know what it costs you. No?
No. I don't know.
There's no idea? She hasn't given you the price of the tickets yet?
She handled it all.
That's sensible.
So I searched for the Airbnb. Me and her husband did the Airbnb. She did tickets. We divided and conquered.
Cool.
I miss it, Sun Life Stadium. But all right, you guys, I have to get going to children to bed. My little one is still outside the door. He decided he wants hot chocolate, despite the fact that it's 80 degrees outside.
The weather's been gorgeous.
Today was beautiful. I think we took like 3 walks.
That's very nice.
All right, Miss Phins, I will find you and wait for me. It's going to be like a school field trip. Like, but all right, FinStanza, thank you for coming on.
Anytime.
All right, and everybody, fins up.
Fins up.